So today we're reviewing Aviation American Dry Gin. Did you know that this recently sold and one of its owners, the all-time famous actor Ryan Reynolds, got an over $600 million payday? Well, is this gin worth every penny? Stick around, you're about to find out. So guys, Aviation's American Gin, probably the most iconic brand of craft gin coming out of America. And as you just heard, the face of this gin and also one of the part owners is the super famous actor Ryan Reynolds. But on this channel, we're into digging a little bit deeper, and did you know he only actually bought into this gin company in 2018? But Aviation Gin's actually been around since 2006. It was one of the original craft gins that started the craze over in the States. I've said many times on this channel, I'm usually a huge fan of gins that are created by people from that bartending and hospitality background. And back in 2006, a bartender and a distiller, winemaker, brewer came together to make this gin. And this gin might just be the very first bartender-distiller collaboration ever. At the time, the craft spirit revolution was only really just starting to gather some momentum. So they created what they decided to call an American gin. And all that means is they've created a botanical profile which is quite soft and a little bit less heavy on the juniper. Those of you that follow me for a while, you know I love a good punch of juniper, so not quite sure about this one yet. Let's give it a crack though and see what it's all about. Let's see what we get on the nose from the Aviation. Okay, it's a little bit more subtle than some of the craft gins I've been reviewing on the channel recently. It's definitely got a little presence of juniper there. It's kind of dull though. I get this general kind of forest floor earthy kind of aroma, but there's some nice complexity there too. I get a little bit of kind of floral lavender, and I know they do use actually lavender as a botanical, but there's a nice little element of citrus zest there too, kind of like a sweet orange peel. Before we get on to tasting the Aviation, if you're liking the review, hit the like button now and let me know down in the comments what you think of the Aviation gin. Let's see what it tastes like. Okay, wow. A bit more full-bodied on the taste. Definitely a lot of the spice botanicals come through. We're talking cardamom and cinnamon, and it even has a little bit of a root beer-like taste. That piney, woody juniper note is definitely a little bit more prominent on the taste too. What I really like on the finish is those floral flavors and citrus flavors come back and just really brighten everything up, offsetting all those kind of spice and earthy notes. I mean, overall, it's a pretty well-balanced gin. It doesn't have that big punch of juniper like your contemporary styles or even those classic London dry styles, but it's really got this nice floral, citrus, spice kind of trifecta going on. It's gonna be really crowd-pleasing and pretty versatile in whatever kind of drink you want to make with this one. So I guess that's the perfect time to talk about how would I drink the Aviation American Gin. Well, this one's called Aviation for a reason. It was actually named after the cocktail, the Aviation. And definitely I've found this gin works in some really kind of floral cocktails, so the Aviation being one of those. But personally, I also really like a bee's knees. Lemon, honey, gin, tying with those kind of lavender botanicals is absolutely delicious. I wouldn't go throwing this gin in a big ballsy drink like a Negroni. It's just gonna get a little bit lost. As for a gin and tonic, oddly enough, I don't really like this one with elderflower tonic or any of those kind of floral tonics either. It just becomes a little bit too much, a little bit soapy, and then the gin gets lost. Like I said, this gin's quite delicate, so you might even want to do this one with a sparkling water or a soda water instead of tonic. But if you really love your tonic, Mediterranean tonic works amazingly well too and doesn't overwhelm all the botanicals. As for a garnish, a little bit of orange works amazingly well, whether that be a slice, a peel, or dehydrated. I find lemon or lime a little bit too sharp, and again, it just overpowers the gin. But that orange brings out the citrus notes of the gin just nicely and lets you taste everything. So guys, the moment you've been waiting for, the final verdict on the Aviation American Gin. Like I said, overall, it's a pretty good gin. It's a little bit more light and delicate and subtle, but it's got a really good sense of balance, even if the juniper isn't too prominent. Personally, I tend to be a little bit more of a purist and really love the taste of juniper, but if you're someone who's just starting out, I really feel that this is the perfect entry point into the world of craft gin. I mean, you might not really be able to call it craft anymore. It was sold for $600 million after all. Down here in Australia, this one's gonna set you back around $75 for a 700ml bottle, and it's sitting at 42% alcohol. I mean, value for money wise, this is okay. It's not exactly cheap for what you get, but it's not exactly that pricey either. If you want a drink that ticks all those boxes of smooth and easy drinking, this one's for you. So guys, if you're just starting out or you want a crowd pleaser, it's gonna keep everyone happy, Aviation American Gin is a pretty good choice. So guys, if you like this review and you want to discover more gins just like this one, start right now by clicking subscribe just up here so you don't miss out on any new reviews as they come out on the channel. If you want to check out all the reviews in the meantime that we have, click through to the playlist here. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.